Attorney of Law, Deputy Governor, Minister of Health, Deputy Premier. Pulse VI Heart to Heart with Dancia Penn, QC, OBE. Hey guys, welcome to Heart, where we, Pulse VI, dig deep and get personal. We're excited to have our very first guest, Honorable Dancia Penn. Thank you for joining us.
Claudia, I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes.
And my heart, and I have a wonderful heart, a big heart, normal size but big. And I'm very delighted and honored that I'm your first guest.
Yes. Thank you. One of the things that we wanted to talk to you about is that you just recently, actually on January 24th, announced your announcement to contest the general elections of 2019 as an at-large candidate and independent. Why at large? Why independent? Why now?
Thank you very much, Claudia. Those are important questions. Each of them is. Now, because of the situation in which our dear little country is, the situation in which our people are, I felt moved and compelled to respond to the requests of so many, especially young people, young women, and many young men. And given my own love of country and the fact that I feel that I would like to contribute to our country at this point in time when it is at a serious crossroad, I thought that I would come forward. Why at large? Why a seat in the territorial constituency, as it's called under the Constitution? I believe that there is where I can make my best contribution. I am from East End, and as you know, I have previously been a member of the House of Assembly representing what is the 8th electoral district.
Right.
And I have great love and affection for my people of the 8th electoral district, and I believe that they have great love and affection for me. And indeed, I have great love and affection for all of the people of this country. I thought that it was in all of the circumstances that it now exists, including who I am, what I believe I bring to the table in terms of my own skills, my ability, my qualifications, my training, who I am as a person. Very dependable, I like to think able and approachable, a person with a very honest, nurturing character, a courageous person, and part of what has allowed me to offer myself as a territorial candidate running as an independent is my courage.
Okay.
And that courage, leaders have to have courage.
Right.
And part of what I bring and part of what I have to offer is my courage.
Okay.
I also think that I am accessible and approachable. I am a person of deep integrity and honesty and probity, and I believe our country desperately needs that at this time. So I took the decision after a lot of consultation, prayer, reflection, meditation to come forward. Why as an independent? That's an extremely important question, and it's a question that I know many are asking.
Right.
And I wish to take some time, if I may, to respond to that. And the first thing I wish to say is that I have nothing at all against any of the political parties or the political groups that have presented themselves for election at the upcoming general elections.
Okay.
I believe that we should all want and aspire to the best possible government for our country, and a government we will have. And come the 25th of February this year, the voters of this country will elect 13 women and men to form our next government. They will be the members of our House of Assembly, and from among them, our cabinet will be taken, will be comprised, will be appointed.
Okay.
I would like the opportunity to be one of those 13 women and men, and I pledge to the people of this country that I will work and work faithfully and well with the others who are elected. You see, Claudia, if we know the history of our country, the greatest economic advances we've had and the firmest foundations that have been laid for the modern economy of this country was laid in governments made up of independent candidates.
Okay.
Don't let anybody fool you.
Right.
That's the true history. Willard Wheatley, who 40 years ago, and we just celebrated the 40th anniversary of the Virgin Islands coming out of grant and aid, he was an independent candidate.
Okay.
And interestingly, his symbol, I now remember as I'm speaking with you on Heart to Heart, used to be the heart.
Oh, wow.
His symbol used to be the heart.
Okay.
And it was by his diligence, his ability, and his independent mind and character, and his honesty and integrity, that he was able to run the affairs of this country in a way that allowed the British government to have the confidence to allow us to manage our own financial affairs, and for us to come out of grant and aid. And when we have time, I'll tell you what grant and aid was about. Cyril Romney.
Right.
Cyril Romney, under whose watch we got the IBC, which is now the business company. The IBC is the International Business Company, which became the Business Companies Act. And which is the foundation for our financial services.
Yes.
Cyril Romney was an independent candidate.
Okay.
Ralph O'Neill, who was our first premier, and for many years the leader of the Virgin Islands Party, it was only in the later years of his political career that he joined the Virgin Islands Party.
Wow.
And I can tell you this as well, having served as Attorney General for 7 years, with governments, different governments, which were made up of independent candidates, one of the things that I know is that there is a lot of diversity in thought and in the expression of ideas in the decision-making process.
Right. Do you think the territory could handle diverse government of such at this time?
I believe given...
Like a coalition government, so to speak.
Well, I think we have to be very careful about labels.
Okay.
I think we have to be very careful about labels.
Yes.
And what I believe and what I would like the people of this country and the voters of this country to really consider, listen carefully and consider, is what is the best thing for us at this point in time.
And what do you think that best thing is?
The point in time that we're at is an extraordinary time. It's an extraordinary time.
Yes.
We've had... And the problems were beginning before the climate events, the devastating climate events of 2017. The floods on August Monday, Hurricane Irma on the 6th of September, Hurricane Maria. The problems were beginning. Those events laid the problems bare.
They just put them straight out there for
Precisely. And we could all see them without any covers.
Took the blinders
but
off.
A lot of things were evolving and not going in the right direction. Let's be very honest about it.
Right.
And I believe that one of the things that brought us to that situation is the lack of diversity in the thinking. People were bound by and blinded by the symbol of the party and the need to adhere to what we of this particular color want.
Okay.
And I believe that where we are now, to get us back on track, we need to return to some of those things that brought us where we are. I listened, and I'm so proud of Gabrielle Dene.
Oh, okay.
What a wonderful, wonderful young woman. Yes. Have you heard her message?
I heard the message.
It is so profound. Yes. It is so true. It is so deep.
Yeah.
And she is absolutely and completely right.
Right. And she takes us right into a perfect segue right now. As Gabrielle Dene is a young person, and one of the things that we have right now is a lot of young people vying in this election, and also the young people are the voting populace right now in the territory. How do you see bridging that gap in terms of bringing them along on stream with your ideas and your plans for the future and the future bills you plan to bring about in the House of Assembly? How do you bring the young people along with you?
Wonderful, and I am so happy that you've asked me that question. I have, and it's something I'm very proud of, and it's something that enriches me as a person in a real way. I have some beautiful relationships with a range of young people throughout this country.
Awesome.
I am so happy about that. I'm so proud about that. I'm on Facebook with some of them. I'm on WhatsApp with some of them. Some of them are my friends. You know, I hang out sometimes with them. And I know where they are.
Okay.
And what I have said to many of them, including just before we began this interview, I was talking with 2 young women. I went to buy a sandwich.
Okay.
One was 18, one was 19. And I was talking to them about the fact that one of the blessings of my life and the lives of people of my generation is the fact that we had leaders who cared, simply cared, and who paved the way for us.
Right.
So part of what I am doing is listening, and I encourage all of them to contact me whenever we meet. They have my numbers.
Okay.
I have many of theirs. I listen to what they say matters.
Okay.
I listen to the concerns that they have, because
what are
I
a lot of
believe
the concerns that you're hearing?
Well, many of them are anxious for their futures.
Okay.
Many of them do not see a way. Many of them feel that there are no directions. Many of them tell me that they're listening because they hear a lot of noise, they see the balloons, they hear the bullhorns blowing.
Okay.
But they are concerned about themselves. One young man I was speaking with, he's 19, 2 evenings ago.
Yeah.
He wants to be a chef. And that's a very good thing.
Right.
Because one of the things that we have to do is to rebuild our country physically and to renew and grow our tourism industry in particular.
Right, right.
And he comes from a family that has a long-standing culinary tradition.
Oh, wow.
But he doesn't quite see the way. Many of them are concerned about establishing small businesses.
Okay.
Many of them are concerned about sports and sports tourism. Just last night I was on a chat with a young man. He's from here. He's away at the moment, but he's going to be coming home for the elections. And he really wants to be here and to find a good employment and be able to contribute not only to the physical rebuilding of our country, but to the social rebuilding of it as well. And people like them, they're looking for opportunities. And we had a great conversation last night about sports and sports tourism.
How do you think we start those conversations in terms of bringing those things into reality? Where do we begin?
I think continuing to listen and not falling into the trap that many fall into once they are elected, which is removing themselves from people.
Right.
Leaders and good leaders have to stay grounded.
Yeah.
You know, a leader is a shepherd, and part of what a shepherd does is take care of the sheep.
Okay.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in a positive way.
In building.
But in building, absolutely. Part of what we have to do is to keep our young people engaged and keep and maintain contact with the community. One of the things that I did, and it was a very important thing to me, and it is what people had told me when I was on the campaign trail in 2007, my first time in elected politics, though I had had a long track record in public service and in government. And one of the things that people talked to me about was access. And people being able to reach you.
And that word is being brought up a lot.
And it's at my core.
This election.
I established a district office in my district in East End. In fact, you can go to my Facebook page. It's Elect Dancia. And you will see among the things on the Facebook page, I think there's a picture or two there of my district office, where I went every Thursday. And it was a known commitment. I didn't always make it on a Thursday because I was deputy premier and I was a cabinet minister. I had travel duties and other duties. But people knew they could come there and have time with me, and I would listen to their concerns, and I would do best I could to assist them. And I would promise that when, and I say when because I'm a positive and confident person.
Speaking it into existence.
Absolutely. When I am re-elected to the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands, I promise people that access because I think it's very important. And an elected leader is a servant of the people.
I think
an
sometimes
elected people is not a person in orbit.
Yeah, they act like they're so far removed from us.
That disturbs me.
Yeah. How do you think that we could curb that? Because looking at the slate of candidates that we have this cycle, we could almost assume that we're going to have a lot of new elected representatives.
And I think that's a good thing.
You know what I mean? So how do we make sure that going forward, they stay true to us, the people who put them there?
I think a lot of it is about character. I think a lot of it is about commitment. And I would urge the voters of this country to listen very carefully to those who are offering themselves for political office, whether new or not new, and look at who they are, look at their track records. Because actions speak louder than words.
Isn't that true?
And anybody can write a good speech, saying the right things, or have a good speech written for them, saying the right things. Look at the character of the people. Look at their track records.
Okay. As we get ready to wrap up, I know that you have other activities that you need to take care of. One of the things that I want you to share with our listening audience is some of the platform issues that you feel are important in terms of building our society, that will be things that you want to bring first to the House of Assembly, things that you feel are really, really needed for us to move forward.
Thank you so much for that. And there are several things. My campaign, Claudia, is a campaign that is based on the premise that the country is first. The country is, and the country will remain first. And what I am presenting to the voters of this country is a roadmap for the future that will be live on my website very shortly.
And what's your website?
That roadmap is, I'll give you in a second, that roadmap is broken down into several different areas. The economy, diversification of the economy, our financial services, our international relations, because our international relations are very important. They're extremely important, more so than ever because of Brexit, which is, as you know, due to take place on the 29th of March, and which, in respect of which things change every day. The part of my roadmap, and I will flesh it out in detail, is the empowerment of the youth, some of the very things we were talking about. The governance. We need to strengthen the governance of all of our institutions in this country. Our House of Assembly. We see what has happened in it in the last few years. People not speaking the truth in the House of Assembly. People not answering questions that the opposition asks, and that is one of the hallmarks of democracy.
Definitely.
We need to just bring more decorum back to public life, and create and restore more trust and confidence in government.
That's the key word there, trust.
Trust is gone, and we need to rebuild it, because it is the only foundation on which we can really build a sustainable society. Constitutional reform is one of the things that I will focus on as well, and in particular, we need to do mature, open, local discussions with our people as to what they would require and what they expect in terms of the constitution under which they want to be governed. And we also need to negotiate, and negotiate in a serious way, with the United Kingdom government, because constitutionally we are an overseas territory of the United Kingdom. So we need to negotiate a new constitution, and we need to create a new modern relationship with the United Kingdom. And one of the very, very strong things that I would like to address immediately is the matter of having a fixed date for elections. I went 2 nights ago to get my voter registration card, and I met a lady there. And she says, you know, Dancia, I feel deprived of my rights as a voter.
A lot of people are feeling very deprived.
She came up to me and said that, you know, I feel deprived of my rights as a voter.
And it's cheated us, the voting populace, in such a way that we don't get the opportunity to get the full from each candidate, so we could definitely get a chance to get to know them more personable.
And that's very important.
Very important.
And it is a very important thing for democracy, and for the growth and development and preservation of the democratic government. And one of the things that the people of this country should take note of is that this is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the first time. We have to. So we have a great deal to do. You know, it's an exciting time. I really thank you, Claudia, for the opportunity to be here. I haven't said half of what I wanted to say.
I know. We thank you, and you're welcome back anytime. And hopefully you'll be back as at-large representative.
I would be so delighted. Then you can come
back and share more with our listeners as to what you like to see going forward as an elected official.
Yeah, and I would very much like the people to know that even now, in the days remaining before the elections, I am approachable.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Meet me, speak with me.
Yeah.
Contact me on Facebook.
What do you have
WhatsApp
going on next? What's next on your schedule in terms of getting out to the people?
We are publishing what we are doing, what my committee has organized, and it's really wonderful, and I'm enjoying it. In fact, I met you on one of them. We are doing a series of on-the-road meet and greets.
Okay.
And we're going the length and breadth of this country doing those on-the-road meet and greets. We're going to Anegada, we're going to Virgin Gorda.
Pavement.
We are pounding the pavement,
Wow.
and it's a beautiful experience.
I could only imagine.
It's a beautiful
Hearing
experience.
lots of stories.
Lots of stories, lots of concerns, and a lot of what I have said to you today are common concerns.
Okay.
Common concerns.
Okay. Would you be having any more public speeches that public
Yes,
can
next
stay
week,
tuned
and
to?
I'm posting all of them on my website and on my Facebook page. Dancia, the website is electdancia.com when it goes live very shortly, and everything will be posted there.
Okay, great. Well, Honorable Dancia Penn, thank you so much for sitting down and just basically opening your office and your heart to us, letting the public see who you are, a little bit about what you're about, what you believe in. You talked about fixed date for coming elections.
I feel strongly about that. And there are other things in the Constitution. I just mentioned that because it's so topical now.
Yes, putting country first, people's characters, all the elected officials, and the roadmap coming from your website shortly as to your plan.
And that's very comprehensive, setting out all our plans. One of the things I didn't get a chance to speak about, and it's a very fundamentally important thing, is dealing with the recovery.
Right.
You know, we have the Recovery Development Agency, we have the RDA, we have a plan. And we need to get that plan financed, because fundamental to all of those promises that are being made to the voters of this country is getting this country recovered and back on track. Back on track.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I like from you in the past couple of months were you bringing up more commentary online with, you know, opening up people's eyes as to what's going on. Would we be seeing much more of those from you?
Absolutely. The public's business is not private business.
Great. And I think we need that education.
It's not private business. It is the public's business. And I fear that one of the very unfortunate things that has happened here in the last few years in particular has just been a lack of openness and a lack of transparency. And I want to offer a fresh way, a fresh new way, openness. It's not everything that one can always say to the public, but one can say a lot, and one should say it openly and truly and transparently, and I offer that.
There we go, guys. Thank you, Honorable Penn, for joining us. This has been such a delightful conversation. You've educated the public. You've shared a little bit about who you are. You've opened up your office for us to come in and talk with you, and we appreciate it. We wish you all the success in the 2019 elections, and we ask that all our pulsers go out and rock the vote. No matter who you're supporting, so go ahead and exercise your democratic right and get your voting on.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I'm delighted to have been here. I wish we had more time, but thank you ever so much for the opportunity, and best of luck.
Thank you. Pulsers, there you go. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Heart to Heart. We look forward to having much more dialogue with our candidates and other persons in the community, and we'll see you soon.